This is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Nude Glow. So I've been using this for a couple weeks now. It absolutely gives you a good medium coverage. I tried this with a sponge and I didn't like it at all. It just kind of made no coverage. One of the gripes that I think somebody may have is that it doesn't dry down really easily. It feels sticky for a pretty good amount of time. So that's one thing that I think goes against this foundation. For those of you who have dry skin, like really dry skin like I do, you probably are like, oh, I like it when it's sticky, because us really dry girls don't get that real moisturized feeling very easily. And this does that very, very well. I don't think I'm going to like this too much in the summer months because of how it does feel sticky, and when I'm already sticky, it's gonna just feel like it's like dripping off my face. It does go into my lines and wrinkles and stuff, so I do have to set this one, which is fine with me because honestly, this is a little bit more glow than I want. I mean, it'll stay almost like this glow the entire day, which I like in certain parts, but not in all parts. Nice. You can see I still have some things coming through, some of my hyperpigmentation right here, but I am going to give it a little bit more of a coat. But before I do that, I'm going to show you another one of my products that I'm really loving right now. I took advantage of the Sephora VIB sale and got a product that is really expensive. It's the Shiseido, their concealer that is self-refreshing, which means that throughout the day, if you see it gathering, you can just kind of do this and it's all fresh again. I have noticed you can do that. I like to put my concealer on after my first coat of my foundation if I'm feeling like I'm going to use 2 coats. And with this, I do in strategic places. So this, I'll take the applicator and I just like to do a tiny little dab right basically where I have a poof underneath my eyes, like where my eyes are a little bit swollen, I guess I would say, and they cast a shadow. I look like I have more darkness under my eyes than I do because it's a shadow. I'm going to take the A506 from BK Beauty and I'm just going to take this and kind of keep it under my eye like that. And I'm just going to let it sit there just for a second, instead of going right in underneath my eyes where my lines are the worst. You know how you've got lines underneath your eyes where, maybe you don't have this, I have this, where I've got wrinkles that are kind of vertical right underneath my eye here. And if I pull it apart, it always looks really blue there. Sometimes I use color corrector and sometimes I don't. Today I'm not going to, I'm going to use this, but I like to open that up to get the concealer onto those and then diffuse it so it doesn't look so thick there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of open and like pounce it out so it's not so thick, and then just diffuse all of this underneath my eye. The thing I like about this concealer is that it's really moisturizing. Now I did moisturize underneath my eyes and I put SPF there and everything, and obviously I did get the foundation under there, but this just gives it a little bit more of coverage, which I like. It's not extremely thick. It does give a decent amount of coverage. And then I'm going to go in with my brush again, and I'm going to cover up a couple just places where I have extra pigmentation on my face. And I'm going to pounce it in and then go up here and then just kind of blend up, not completely under my eye, but a little bit, just to make sure that I don't have just this huge whiteness under my eye. Okay, of course, my neighbor decided to mow the lawn again. I swear my neighbors have like this sixth sense, like, oh, Bobby's filming, let's go mow the lawn. So if you can hear that, it is what it is. So I got these new eyeshadows from R.E.M. Beauty or R.E.M. Beauty, and this is Ariana Grande's new beauty line. I'm pretty sure it just came out. I picked up two colors, a darker one and a lighter shade. The thing I don't like about these is that it doesn't stand up. It does stand up. Let me see if I can here, I'll use my palette. It'll stand up, but it doesn't stand up very easily because it's rounded. It's very annoying. I would rather just have something stand up. Kind of a triangle shaped doe foot applicator. And I've been using this. I'll put it on the bottom. Just take 2 swipes. And this, I just kind of pat it all over my lid. And I try to get it to go up pretty high up, but I want it to basically color my lid. Then what I do is I take a sponge, this is the e.l.f. camo sponge, and just dab out the extra so I don't have it too much on my eyelid. Because this stuff is very spreadable. It's on the high-end side of the line at Ulta, but I wouldn't say that this was extremely expensive. You can see it's relatively dark, but not like horrendously dark. So just dab it out, and that kind of mattifies it a little bit as well. Then I take the lighter shade. I use far less of this one. I just do a little dab and a little dab. And then I take a smaller one. These are all brushes from Real Techniques. I've used these for years and I love them. And what I'm going to do is just take this and kind of dab it all along the edge of right underneath my eyebrow. Hopefully y'all can see this happening. And then just keep dabbing until you don't see a distinct line. And then I'm going to take my sponge again and just make sure any extra is out of there. What I like about this is that it disguises all the discoloration on my eyelid, but it also gives a distinction between the two and lightens up the top of my eyebrow. So your eyes go towards the top of my eyebrow instead of where my hooded eyes are. And it just lightens things up. And this lasts all day. The next product I'm going to tell you about is actually a drugstore product, and I had heard that it was a dupe for a very expensive product from Charlotte Tilbury. Apparently this is a dupe for it. Now I can't tell you if it's a dupe because I've actually never used the one from Charlotte Tilbury, but I actually like this idea. It is a concealer from Revlon. It's their Color Stay Skin Awaken 24 hours, and it's a 5-in-1 concealer. I got a very dark shade. I'm going to use this for my contour. So the reason why people think it's a dupe for it is because the applicator is very much like the one from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm just gonna dab it right along where I want to place it. I'm going to use a Refer number 17 brush, and I'm using it because it's a flat top, but I've literally just got this. I don't know if this is going to work well, so we're going to experiment. Oh, it's working well. Yay. But see how easy that was to blend? So easy. Now, I think the color isn't perfect for a contour by any stretch, but it's not bad and it's really inexpensive. I like applying it that way. It's just easy to put it exactly where you want it and then blend it out, and it blends like a dream. It also gives you a bit more coverage. It is a concealer. I'm gonna put a little bit under my chin here because I like to make that darker so it doesn't exemplify my extra skin here. Along right underneath my jawline. It's very subtle. I'm going to blend a little bit more when I put on my blush, but I've really been enjoying this, so go get it and just get a darker color and play with it. And this worked great. I'm really excited about that. Yay. My next product is from Tarte, and I have used this blush before, but I got a new color. I have used Buff in this, but this is Peachy Pink. And I thought that would be a fun color to get for spring. And it is very much a pinky color. I have enjoyed it because it gives a nice sheen and it kind of goes with those whole glow thing, but I am going to tone it down a bit. Again, it's very glowy. But this, again, I like the application of this. I'm going to use my Eco tools that I love for doing blush and just kind of blend it out right at the tip of my cheek. With this, you don't need to use any kind of highlighter with it because it's got that nice sheen built in. Okay, that's pretty. It looks a little extreme there, but it doesn't look so extreme in my mirror like live. So I'm gonna go with the live version. You don't need a lot of this, so this is gonna last you a really long time. I love this brush because it just kind of diffuses it. And then you get it in place and then you lightly just kind of brush it along. And it's amazing how it just kind of blends right in. Just so pretty. I'm gonna put a little on my nose, not a ton, a little on my forehead, just to give that sun-kissed look. All right, I am gonna powder down a bit and I'm gonna use the pressed powder again from Physicians Formula, just because it's a little too much. Like that's like a Vavoom glow and I just don't like that much. Smooth out my forehead, get anything that's settling in on my forehead lines, and I like to open up those wrinkles. Sadly, I have them, and just press this into those areas. Let me refresh under my eyes because I can do that with that concealer. And I like that. And I'm gonna go in with the same pressed powder. And I'm just gonna powder, not all of it down. You can still see I have a sheen to it. It's just not as glowy as this side, and I like. It also sets it. And like I said before, this foundation, the CC Nude Glow, it definitely stays sticky longer than most. So if you don't like that, you really are not gonna like that foundation. But it does eventually dry down. I wore this 2 days ago. I did a very large fundraiser for the place where I work, the school I work at, and I am the event planner for that event. And it was a very long day. I walked 11,000 steps that day. My feet were killing me. But my skin looked amazing through the entire day, and this is what I wore. And I had hot flashes through the entire day. So I did say that it was gonna, maybe I won't wear it in the summer, but it did stand up pretty well to that day of me sweating so much. So I don't know, maybe it is good in the summer. You can see it still has a sheen to it, but it's not as distinct as it was before. So I love that it has that, and you can put powder on it and set it down. It doesn't set it down to the point that you have no glow anymore. What's the point of having a glow in a foundation if you take it all away with your powder? Okay, took the hair down. I put on some lipstick. If you're wondering what it is BK Beauty Warm Spice lip liner and Laura Geller Nude Kisses lip gloss. A very favorite combo of mine. I think one of the best things about doing makeup is there's lots of tips and tricks to make it just a little bit easier that maybe you might not know. So I'm gonna link you to a video right here that will take you to some of my favorite tips and tricks. I'll see you maybe in that video or another one. God bless.